In this video, I'm going to go over how to build intimacy, how to create intimacy in your relationship. There are surefire ways to do this, and as a couples therapist and relationship expert, I have pinpointed the ones that work successfully time and time again for couples, and I'm sharing them right now with you. My name is Dr. John Dabach. Welcome to the channel. The very first thing that you need to look at is what exactly intimacy is. Intimacy is one of those words like love, which sounds great, and people have a notion of what it is deep down inside, but it's different for everybody. If you're with a guy who likes to play video games and really has kind of this solitude thing going on where he likes to be alone a lot, his intimacy is going to look very different than your intimacy. And yes, trigger warning, I'm talking in big generalities. You'll hear me a lot on this channel say men are this way, women are this way. There's exceptions to every rule. If I had to sum up what intimacy really is, it's you being comfortable being you. If you feel like you can be yourself in the relationship, there's going to be laughter, there's going to be joy, and when you want to connect, so those two things combine, a sense that you can be your true self and wanting to connect with the other person, that is what intimacy is. If you feel like you have to hide who you are, or if you feel like you are who you are but you don't want to connect, you don't have emotional intimacy. You don't have that. Another word for emotional intimacy really is friendship. You're not friends with people where you have to disguise who you are. And you're not friends with people that you don't want to hang out with and you don't want to connect with. That is intimacy in a nutshell. So the first thing that you have to do when you want to build intimacy is focus on honest and open communication. Now, why do I say honest and open? Now, I think it goes without saying that we got to be honest with our partners. If you're not honest, what the hell are you doing? If you have to sit there and lie to your husband or wife to be in a relationship with them, get the hell out of that relationship. Sorry, I got a little emotional there. But open communication is really tantamount to honest communication. I cannot tell you how many times I'm in a session with a couple and I hear someone say, well, I want this, and their partner says, I never knew that. People are too shy. They are way too shy to say what they really want in a relationship. You need to change that. You need to tell someone, hey, I want to be held. Would you mind putting your hand around me? Would you mind holding my hands? Hey, you know what's really important to me is getting complimented once in a time. It makes me feel loved. Would you please do that for me more? Maybe even right now. And don't give them a future date. Don't say, just do it by the end of the week or by the end of the month. Bad idea. Right now. There's no time like the present. If you want to be held, say, I'd like to be held right now. If they say no, take that rejection and say, why don't you want to hold me? If they say, oh, because I'm working right now, say, how about in 20 minutes? Don't let your partner get away with pushing you off. Your relationship should be a priority to both of you. Quality time. Another thing you got to work on if you want to build intimacy is spending good quality time with each other. What does that look like? Number one, put the phones away. Unless you're playing a game together on the phones, put them away. Put them away. Now, I get it. If you're a doctor or you run a tow truck company or you do one of these emergency services where you're kind of 24 hours on call, you're going to need to have your phone close by. But get into the habit of checking it. If it's not an emergency, put it back down. In fact, what I do when I'm on a date with my wife and I find myself checking my phone because I'm just like everybody else, I'll say, you know what, honey? Here's my phone. And I'll hand it to her and she'll put it in her purse or she'll put it on her side of the table. So I'm not tempted to use it during the date. And I don't care if it's 20 minutes on the couch or a 2-hour dinner or a whole weekend. Stop using your phone. Another way to build emotional intimacy is through physical intimacy. People need touch. We are not robots. We are not animals that don't need cuddling, and by the way, most animals need that too, but we need a certain amount of touch, and you can't just push it off. You can't just say, I don't really feel like cuddling and hugging. I'll just do it on Sunday. We'll hold off all that till Sunday. You can't do that with meals, can you? You can't just say, I'm not going to eat today. I'll just eat all day Sunday and I'll just skip food the rest of the week. Physical touch is a constant need. If kids aren't hugged constantly, they don't and touched in a loving way, they grow up with some personality challenges usually. And your relationship is no different. Just because you can self-soothe and your partner can self-soothe, hopefully, because you're both adults, doesn't mean you should rely on it. If you're in a healthy relationship, touch. And this includes sex, of course, but also the hugs, the little hand holding, the little cuddling on the couch. All that stuff is important. If you're not squeezing in 5 minutes every day to have some physical touch with your partner, emotional intimacy is going to run right away. I mean, it's not going to stick around much longer. Being vulnerable. The idea that you can be yourself comes with the unspoken rule that you can show your partner the things you don't like about yourself or that you're scared of, that you're scared to grow, you're scared to change, you're scared people will find this out about you. It's great to have that weight on your back of things that scare you or that you don't like about yourself shared. It's like moving a couch. Right? You can move a couch by yourself, but man, is it tough. Get another person on the other end of that couch. You can lift it and move it around the house. No problem. Being vulnerable gives you that partner to move the couch with. Let your partner absorb some of the weight of what's really eating you inside. Shared experiences. You want to build a connection with someone? Do new things with them. Go take a cooking class. Go on a hike. Go do something you've never done before together. Even if it sucks, you laugh about it together. Shared experiences are a great way to build a history and a narrative of who you are as a couple. And they make for great stories when you meet other couples or that you could tell your children. It's a great thing to do. And if you're doing the same restaurant and the same activity week after week after week, it's not going to go well for you. I mean, routine is nice, but once in a while, the variety that you need in life needs to come together. Otherwise, they might start looking for that variety without you, and you don't want that. Surprise. Every relationship needs surprise. There's a art to surprise, right? If you give someone a compliment every day at noon, great. It's great that you're giving someone a compliment. It's great that you're building up your partner, but they're going to start expecting it. There are two things in the love language department that work great with surprise, right? Gifts and compliments, right? Words of affirmation. Those two things work fantastic with surprise. And also trips. It's not really a love language, right? That kind of is in the quality time realm. But if you want to surprise someone with a surprise trip, or if you want to give them a surprise compliment, random Post-it note on the bathroom mirror, or flowers on Wednesday just because, that really just is like an adrenaline shot to emotional intimacy in your relationship. Emotional support. A great way to build intimacy is knowing when your partner is down and supporting, being there for them. It's important when they have loss in their life, when they have struggle in their life. A lot like moving the couch when you're being vulnerable, you have these pointed moments where things are hard, and being there for them and pushing everything else aside. It's the right way to be in a relationship. There's no other way to say it. In the Gottman world, they have this phrase, when my partner is in pain, the world stops. And I think that's a powerful message for all couples to learn. Laughter, playfulness. You want to build an emotional bond? It comes from joy. The ultimate expression of joy is when you feel completely restriction-free to laugh and play. That's why when you see a couple having a playful pillow fight, you're like, that is a great couple. I want to have that relationship because it's fun. If you guys aren't having fun in your relationship, ask yourself why. If you're not laughing, ask yourself what makes you laugh normally. How come you can't share that together? You don't have to watch the same stand-up comedy. And my wife doesn't like the same kind of humor that I like. And it was really concerning to me. But you know what? I figured out when I get hurt, she laughs. So I stub my toe once in a while just to kind of give her a chuckle. I've actually gotten good at faking stubbing my toe because you don't want to go to the doctor for a broken toe every few months. But whatever it is that's going to make you and your partner laugh together, seek out more of it. And the last thing I'm going to tell you about emotional intimacy is forgiveness and acceptance. People make mistakes. You're human, your partner's human. The way that you want to be forgiven, the way you want to be accepted, start by extending that courtesy to your partner. Nobody likes people who hold grudges. It's important to know that we're going to make these mistakes and we're going to be forgiven. Embrace them with open arms and say, I still trust you. I still want to be with you. You hurt my feelings, but let's move forward. Once you have emotional intimacy in your relationship, you're going to want to know how to keep the spark alive. And you can find out how to do that on this video that's on the thumbnail on your screen right now. Just click it and watch it and you get some great tips.